News with Gina.
The News with Gina Grad.
Well, some big Jeffrey Epstein news coming out from Tuesday. Was found in his cell, nearly unconscious with injuries to his neck after a possible suicide attempt, according to sources. Epstein was discovered by guards sprawled out on the floor at the Metropolitan Correctional Center, where he's being held without bail on sex trafficking charges. The multimillionaire financier was taken to a nearby hospital. Unclear how he suffered this neck injury. Investigators believe he may have done it to himself, either on purpose or as a ploy to get transferred out of jail. Also possible that he was attacked by another inmate.
Could have been trying to blow himself.
Also possible.
He is addicted to sex.
Pretty dry in there.
They should leave some shoelaces around in case guys like that want to kill themselves. You know what I mean?
Well, that was the debate I was listening to on KFI today. It's like, first of all, one said, you never ever let this guy get even close to killing himself. You know, we want names, we want answers. Let's get those first. And someone else is like, but why? Just let him do himself in and let's move on with our lives. He's clearly terrible.
Yes, I agreed. And then also you realize what prison is to those guys. You know, you take my dad growing up, prison would be a lateral move. Like, yeah, at least we got some air conditioning.
4 hots and a cot.
Yeah,
squares,
like this guy's used to islands and jets
Right.
and Clinton and Trump, but this is a tough. That's a fast free fall.
They're going to put him in one of those, anti-suicide blankets, and just leave him there.
Yeah.
The no Velcro. And
MikeMurphy, what do you know about Epstein? He must have been active, a known entity in your era.
Believe it or not, of all the creepy rich guys I've gotten to meet behind the scenes of American politics for a long time, I never crossed my path. And I'm like yawning at the fact he tried to off himself. He seems like Satan. Maybe put him in solitary with Madoff, and whoever survives can have 3 hours in Vegas or something and put him back.
And also maybe that
I'm
guy
medieval on that.
There's that guy on the west side here that had a couple of guys die in his apartment.
Oh, yeah, the producer dude. Yeah. I don't remember the name.
There was somebody here who was on the west side. He wasn't a politician, but he was a Democratic supporter or something. And he's had a couple of young dudes die in his apartment. He didn't get into trouble for the first one. I guess the second one.
He did 10 years of this. He was like a big D donor, and he might have given Republican, but he was mostly a Dem, and he was like an agent or a Hollywood guy. And it was like a parade of homicides.
Everyone on the West Side's a big D donor.
It's true.
There's a secret club.
Ed Buck's his name, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like when your first wife drowns, no one accuses you of anything, but about the third wife, people start asking questions. Yeah. Put some of that non-skid tape on the tub, would you, at a certain point?
Yeah, it's the Jerry Lee Lewis thing. I think he's like his third dead wife. And maybe something's up.
Well, if anybody tried to go to the DMV on Wednesday, they were standing in a line. No big deal. We're used to that. But the California DMV shut down all the offices Wednesday morning for a 4-hour training session on processing the new Real ID driver license. But it was also about making the office more customer friendly, according to CBS. The training prepared more than 5,000 DMV employees to efficiently process those Real IDs, which take more time, are more complicated.
Can you imagine running that training seminar? God. This is a murderer's row of the worst high school students. Least trainable human beings in history. Like, we need the bottom 3% of every high school in North America. They shall end up going through a Dumbo funnel, and it'll be spit out into this one building. And now I'm going to try to impart wisdom and information into this unteachable group who landed here.
Would you like to know how they were trained? Because it's exactly how you train first graders.
With tasers.
They must
Don't
have used
gnaw on the computer keyboard.
I mean, they must use stuffed animals, like what they do with kids that were abused. They
Show me on the bunny.
At the part of the customer you don't like.
Electricity dangerous. No touch.
Imagine teaching that group.
It was a lateral move from that. They did role playing exercises, how to present a kinder, gentler face to the public.
Let me explain how that first salvo went. All right, we're doing some role playing. Sticky bun, cinnamon. What kind of rolls are we talking about?
Buttered.
Yeah, we love rolls.
Yeah. And this was common, because we did stories about how all these people got their real IDs and all these people got mail saying it's invalid. I was one of them. Way after the story. They're still processing bad IDs. So maybe you crew now will have different luck.
The weird shame of domestically having to pull out my passport everywhere because my license has expired. Yeah. I can't make an appointment at a DMV out in Los Angeles because they're all overbooked and the computers are screwed up and you can't do anything online.
2.5 short weeks.
So I'm going to do a race at Laguna Seca. So I made an appointment at a DMV that's in, I don't know, Pebble Beach
Beautiful
or Monterey,
right,
where I can go in and get my license renewed there, but I can't do it here. But going through airports and stuff now, I'm pulling out my thing, but I'm just I flew from Portland to Burbank, and I'm pulling out my
I just
passport.
did it, and it was the same thing, multiple appointments. And then you get there, and it's clearly the instructors also do the prison guards because they just assume the worst in people.
Sure.
So it's down to barking and pointing and everything.
Sure.
And it could all be an app if they had their act together.
That's right.
But they don't.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, they could. They don't care.
Yeah, they have a union.
They're not incentivized. Are they in a union?
Pretty much in a state like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
that explains a lot.
That's why there's so many.
Yeah.
Well, 27 children have been removed from the Youth Treatment Ranch in northwest Montana.
What goes on there?
After multiple allegations of abuse, the ranch's license has been suspended. It's been closed. So here's some of the allegations. Kids were hit, kicked, body slammed, spit on. Children were kept in prolonged isolation. They were sent on 15 to 20-mile disciplinary walks. Food was withheld as punishment. I was like, you're a
Wait, are these like juvie kids?
What's the camp
I think
for?
so, yeah. This is a ranch for kids founded in 2004 to help at-risk adopted children and their families. Haven't these kids been through enough?
The long hikes are good. I don't mind
20
that.
miles in Montana in the summer?
Downhill.
All downhill.
Yeah. That's too long. But the discipline and stuff is all good. That part's good. I don't like the spitting part. Little body slamming is fine. Who's doing this?
What do you mean?
I mean, who's running the camp?
The
DMV.
Yeah, probably. And I don't know if Montana's the same, but like Idaho is kind of one of those sort of protected states when it comes to those youth facilities. Montana might be the same, where
they
really
often
anything
have
goes.
A state law that's a little bit, you pick your
Loose.
word, a little
friendly to the facility.
A little old school, a little medieval. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Hungarian swimmer Christoph Milak won. You heard about this?
No.
Okay.
I just have a grandfather who's Hungarian.
Won the 200-meter butterfly at the World Swimming Championships on Wednesday.
Logan Paul's going to break his record,
That's right, of course, sub-9. But it gets better. He broke Michael Phelps' world record in the process. This is according to Bleacher Report. I'll show you the video in a second. 19 years old, took the gold in 1 minute, 50.73 seconds. He beat Phelps' benchmark by 0.78 seconds. Here's what it looked like.
Well, he's going to be the biggest thing in Hungary, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at this. He's like a dolphin, way ahead.
That's his Wolfgang Puck. Has there been a story this big?
I think it's good to be great. It's good to do this in a smaller country, right? Because you get all the accolades, right?
Sure.
Well, the ruler there is a dictator, so if he'd been third place, it might have been the salt mine. I bet he was highly motivated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Orban, not one of the nicer guys.
He had to get it done.
He destroyed the world record.
Yeah, Phelps set his most recent record in 2009 in Rome. Phelps retired from swimming following the 2016 Olympics in Rio. He is the most decorated Olympian of all time. He won 28 medals in total at the Games. 23 were gold.
What did he beat Phelps' record by?
0.78 seconds.
Points? It's not insignificant, right?
No, we saw the line. We're just watching the thing. The line that goes along.
Oh, was that Phelps?
That's the record, and he was a half body length ahead of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
So he was crowned European champion a year ago, but the world record stands as his finest career achievement yet. I'm sure we're going to be hearing about him.
All right, Gina, do a couple more.
All right. Well, just days after the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing, India's space research organization, they launched their first mission to the moon. The launch of an unmanned spacecraft is scheduled to land on the far side of the moon September 7th. It will make India the fourth country to successfully land on the moon, joining U.S., Russia, China. India hopes to fly a manned mission to the moon within the next 3 years. Yeah, the rocket's lunar lander will spend 14 days on the moon searching for water and minerals and scouting out a good place for future landings and future people trying to get off this rock.
Like, it'd be nice if everybody just got their shit together in that department and did all that stuff, and then came down and shared their data and findings and pictures and moon dust and all that crap with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like tired of us towing the line all the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
India's finally paying their fair share.
Yeah, just whatever it was. Like, I don't know. I guess there's a couple of countries that do that, but most don't. They just wait. Just wait for us to spend a bunch of money and have a bunch of guys burn up on a launch pad and stuff like that. And then we share it with them.
It's a little easier to do now, by the way. The fourth. Not that I'm against their space program, but it becomes a national pride thing, too. It's like, well, we can build nuclear missiles to go to the moon. So, all right, go to the moon.
Yeah, but when your national pride becomes like, you see like they're doing the marathon. And they're at hour 23, and they're packing up all the barricades and everything. There's that one fat chick in the back with cerebral palsy, and they're going, "Come on, Annie, come on!" I don't know how much pride. You know what I'm saying? That's India, their space program. You know what I mean? Like, she finished.
Yeah,
she finished.
But
right,
it's all about beat Pakistan. That for them.
That's local rivalry.
Yeah, there we go. We won.
But you always cry harder when you see her pass the finish line than the first person pass the finish line.
Right.
She has heart.
But I'm saying the Kenyans have checked into the hotel. Yeah. They ate their meal. They got
their rub down.
Now. They're going to the airport.
They're getting ready for the next marathon.
They've started the next one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So this video went viral. The only reason I'm showing it is because no information that anybody died. But a bull bison reminded tourists at Yellowstone National Park Monday why you don't get that close to the park's inhabitants. Don't show it just yet. A group of about 50 tourists approach a wild bison. Really wanted that closer look, that selfie, that good picture for to post online. At one point, getting within 10 feet of it. Now, this animal clearly felt threatened, charged the crowd, tossed a 9-year-old girl into the air. The girl was taken to the hospital for treatment.
It's not funny.
The extent of her injuries not released, but that is all the information they have. But check this out, and we should put this up too.
Looking at this giant bull bison. It's getting a running. It's running. Oh,
whoa!
Wow! Did it toss?
Shit.
It ragdolled her, man. She went
over
airborne.
its body size.
That's a good story for a 9-year-old, though. She landed all right.
On her feet.
It's possible. Like Joel McHale's dad.
Here's the thing. You don't get near these things because even in mascot trim, they can't be controlled.
Yeah,
is it Colorado that has? They can't even control their own, and they bottle fed that thing since it was a cub, a calf, or whatever. I mean, if you can't find a college mascot version of one that you can control,
instead of Yellowstone,
stay away from the ones in the wild.
It's Disney's fault because all these movies that anthropomorphize animals, they're like people. That one's the dentist, and
right.
Like fuzzy and fun, and then cut to their brain is like kill that.
I'm also trying to think the fluffy animals we feel we can come up and cuddle with.
Ralphie.
Kitty cats,
Ralphie
tigers, lions.
Ralphie the buffalo.
Yeah, the
mezcal. Put me down a few feet.
The short-haired stuff, or just the skin stuff.
Yeah, scaly.
We stay away from the snakes
Not
and
fun.
the gators and all that kind of stuff. The big fluffy. We think we can go
big
over there
proud
and hug
lion.
them.
Yeah.
And it's the animation trick. If they have big eyes, they're nice. If they have little eyes, they're a villain. And
That's
if you
right.
look at any real animal, the eyes aren't that big. Not smiling.
So that chick probably didn't quite stick the landing, the 9-year-old, but
given the circumstances, it was still very impressive.
That's a fun-ass story. I mean, when you're older,
and you have video,
that story.
That's me.
Yeah. And if you ever feel like that girl who was 9 who was ragdolled by the buffalo, if she ever feels like she doesn't want to go into work one day, she just send that to her boss. My back is...
My sciatica's acting up.
Yeah, it's a little... Yeah, I mean, yes, I'm 41 now. That was when I was 9, but you don't...
You don't think that's an effect?
Really recover from that.
Free bison burgers for life, I think. I'll chip in.
Is it rainy today? I think it's raining outside. I can feel it. Anyway, I can't come in. By the way, this weekend, that'll be today... I'll be at Montclair at the Canyon, and that'll be with me and Adam Ray doing stand-up, and then Pasadena, and then Agora Hills as well. That'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday today, Saturday and Sunday. Oh, Adam Ray is not at Montclair. Sorry, he'll be
Monterey.
He'll be in Pasadena, he'll be in Agora Hills, and then Monterey, where I'm getting my driver's license. So if anyone wants to meet me at the DMV, I will be in a fire suit. I did get, I got the cool shirt. Charles got me a cool shirt. One of those shirts you put on that has all the water jacket vessels going through it, and then a cooler.
the actual cool shirts.
Like Charles doesn't do anything cool.
Yeah, and then you put the cooler where the passenger seat would go, and it pumps the cold water.
That's
through it,
awesome.
so you don't overheat in the
Good
car.
for you.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
So we talk a lot about auctions and auction houses on here, and you might not be the biggest Madonna fan, but this is interesting. A long time,
This came up in my brain for Brian. It's good hot tequila talk.
Let's hear it.
The Ferris Bueller Ferrari, California 250.
Cameron's dad's.
Cameron's dad's car replica. They never used a real one. The replica is up for sale.
Okay.
And so is the Vanilla Sky Tom Cruise Ferrari GTO. Both those are coming up in Long Pebble Beach, coming up this auction in about 3 weeks.
The one that was used in the movie, that is a replica.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And
that's pretty cool.
But it's called this one is the hero car. It's like the main car from the movie.
Yeah.
And the GTO Ferrari from Vanilla Sky, which would be, in today's world, $60 million if it was a real GTO Ferrari, is now the one they used in the movie.
Crashed it, yeah.
That's
awesome.
He doesn't breathe on it. He doesn't drive it. He just rubs it with a diaper.
Mm-hmm. Both coming up.
That's awesome. Well, a longtime Madonna collaborator has leaked demo tapes from her Like a Prayer years to keep an auction house from making a lot of money off of it. That's the whole goal. So Patrick Leonard, who co-wrote and produced a lot of her early works, he uploaded demos of Like a Prayer and Cherish on Monday night. He said he was doing it to cut down the value of the master tapes, which are part of the auction that Madonna tried to stop and couldn't stop. Leonard captioned his uploads, quote, "Not cool at all that someone would sell it, not theirs to sell." So we don't hear about that, like undercutting and undermining at the auction house.
If it was not theirs to, like literally their property, Adam, you know auctions better than us, obviously. Wouldn't they be not allowed to?
Well,
the auction house
she
not
tried.
Take it?
Madonna tried, and the judge said no. Then
what I'm saying is there must be some legal basis for them to sell it, I would imagine.
Well, in the car world, you have paperwork and pink slips and stuff, and you own it. And then if it's questionable, they won't sell it. Like, we don't know if there's some dispute over who owns it. They'll withdraw it from the auction. Also, we live in a weird world where if you put a bunch of stuff in a storage unit and then you miss 3 payments, they just cut the lock and auction off whatever's
storage
in it.
wars.
And for some reason, you can't just pay your bill and get it back. I'm not sure why the law works that way. Like, it's a storage unit full of my stuff, and yes, I do owe $700 to the place that has the storage unit. So how about we just settle up and I get my shit back? And people are like, no, it's now the public's.
You can bid on it.
It's kind of weird, right? Like,
yeah.
So I don't know who owned it or what it was, but good.
But specifically trying to drive the price down. Speaking of the price, an Australian man has been caught with $140 million of methamphetamine hidden in boxes after he crashed into a parked police car.
Wow.
That's a move.
Wow. This is serendipitous because I was watching TJ Hooker last night, right?
Was there a Partridge Family crossover?
Well, there is. It's on after the Partridge Family, and they were smuggling TJ Hooker. They're smuggling meth in a PCP or crack or whatever it's all. They're putting
the drug of the day,
like the liquid form on those tanks that go outside of Jeeps, right? Like, remember those extra fuel tanks that sit above they sit above the front tire of the Jeep next to the door, and the guy's driving, the bad guy, the drug kingpin's driving it away. TJ Hooker shoots it twice, and the liquid elephant tranquilizer starts hitting the guy in the face. And TJ's like, now he's getting a taste of what it's like to be a junkie. And the guy's like, and it's like, hit him, and he starts having a bad trip.
Yeah.
And TJ's like, doesn't feel so good, does it, scum?
Street justice.
Best PSA ever.
And he drives the Jeep, like, into the bay. And TJ's sitting there with Adrian Zmed, and he's like, he got a taste of his own medicine. It was insane. But
wow.
I was watching it last night thinking this is not probable.
Art imitates life. The 28-year-old crashed into a police vehicle parked outside a Sydney police station, causing significant damage. And around an hour later, for some reason, police pulled the man over, searched the van.
Hold on, Max Zapata. TJ Hooker must have aired last night. What did we figure out? It was on TV, TiVo TV or True TV or
FETV.
Right. And He'd followed him down to the L.A. River, and when the drug transaction was going. By the way, you forget all those 80s cop shows and 70s cop shows, like, there'd be some kid stealing a Schwinn, and he'd go, "Hey, kid, stop!" And the kid go, "No!" And he'd pull his gun out and just like firing rounds at the kid. Like, we used to just watch cop shows where, like, if somebody ran away, oh, yeah,
we'll stop you.
Get that gun out. Unload, man. Yeah. Like, it would seem insane now. Now we have cops, they're getting water dumped on their head and everything. They can't move. They can't do anything. Yeah. But if anyone would try to run away from T.J. Hooker, he'd pull his gun out and just start shooting at him. So he shot the tank, and the guy the drug pin got a taste of his own medicine.
We found it. Hold on.
Oh, you found it?
So I'll just tell you, this ended up being awesome. 600 pounds of methamphetamine. He's been charged with large commercial drug supply and negligent driving.
Why did it take him an hour to figure it out when the car full of drugs slams into the cruiser?
I looked everywhere. I thought, where is that missing hour? Why is that? But apparently he scuttled away. It took an hour to find him.
He didn't have a T.J. Hooker on the case.
He certainly did not.
Oh, okay, so here's the drug kingpin.
Here we go.
He's driving the Jeep now.
White guy.
T.J.
Boss hog.
T.J. shot the tank full of liquid, I don't know, PCP or something, and it's leaking in his face. Sorry, go ahead and play it. Just shooting at him. This is all in Sherman Oaks or like Studio City. Then they switched to like Long Beach. You live out here, it ruins it.
We don't have any hills.
Right. He's getting sprayed by his own drugs. He's going to get a taste of what he's been doing to these kids on the street.
And I was down at San Pedro.
And TJ knows what's going on somehow from 100 feet behind in a Ford Fury.
He's starting to feel it.
He's having a bad trip now.
Jack Weston, drug dealer. I had no idea. A little swerving now to throw
TJ
now
knows
you can
it. TJ's aware now what's going on.
It's the bridge that Tony Scott threw himself off of.
That's the justice squint there by Shatner. He's had enough.
Of justice.
He's had enough.
He's laughing maniacally.
He's having a bad trip.
He's going for the pier. Must be crazy.
They're in San Clemente.
Your whole part is the obvious. It looks like he's going to the pier.
Hold on, roll that back for 1 second. You'll hear TJ. Not all the way back. Just a minute. He'll say it.
He's going for the pier. Must be crazy. It's the PCP. He's finding out what it's like to be a junkie.
I was 80 yards to
These were top 3 shows printed.
POV,
man.
POV.
Look at that filter.
He's going nuts. He's going into the bay. I was watching the shit out of this last night.
POV shot.
He went in, and then they had to sort of figure out whether they wanted to save him or not.
Yeah, did he survive?
Guys like that getting kids hooked on smack make TJ sick.
He'll just find his way out of the system.
But TJ can't play God.
So this is what happened in Australia, right? He got
the same thing. The very same.
Sprayed with PCP.
It must have been great to write scripts when there were only 3 channels. Like, so what happened? Fat white guy, he's a Mexican drug lord. They're moving the liquid PCP.
I love
liquid?
it. So far, so good.
Hold on, this liquid PCP. I wrote it, didn't it?
Shut up, Dan.
It doesn't exist. TJ shoots it. It gets in his face. He has a bad trip, and he goes into the drink.
We're done here.
Cut
All right, there we go. Let's get a table read.
Justice served.
Can you imagine TV? Like, imagine how much competition there is now. Imagine that was a hit show. And it was all there was to watch. Like, when I would babysit,
your hands are tied.
It's a hell of a program.
And where was the AMC Matador 401, the greatest cop car ever, LAPD?
Yeah.
So, I'm a quibbler about such things.
The Matador is like the worst American offering ever in the automobile department.
There's just a weird car thing about it. They took the power steering off for the LAPD, and it turned into the best handling cop car ever in this Frankenstein experiment. Yeah.
Is it the Matador is like one of those cars that was the biggest on the outside and the smallest on the inside? Like, when you were back in the day, we're not looking at a Matador.
Yeah, I think that is. I think that's the classic LAPD there.
That is the classic LAPD, but the Matador was a different car. That was a Chrysler.
I think the Blues Brothers crashed about 300 of those.
Show me a picture of the Matador.
They didn't make that a selling point, right? You don't advertise that it's big on the outside and little on the inside.
No, the
I think it was it's free. Take it off the lot,
right.
please. Was
like a four-door VW Rabbit was like small on the outside and big on the inside.
That's
like
what you want.
That the Matador, which Max Pat will find at AMC Matador maybe, and show me that. You'll see a huge car that's a two-door that has no room in it at all. Punch in 79 AMC Matador and see what
Caitlin's bringing it up right now.
comes up. All right. I want to give a plug to Mike's podcast, Hacks on Taps with Mike Murphy and David Axelrod. And it's available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Subscribe, rate, and review. And shoot Mike a tweet at Mike Murphy as well. All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.